Nearly 700,000 of Chicago's residents claim Mexican heritage. And over the years, Mexican culture, from food to music, has become woven into the city's tapestry. A new business in Little Village explores where Midwestern meets Mexican by combining haircuts with deep cuts. Chicago Tonight's Erica Gunderson has a story.
The sound of a neighborhood barbershop, friendly chatter, clippers buzzing, and scissors snapping is unmistakable.
Did you get that on Amazon?
I did.
But folks getting a trim at Del Pueblo Barbers and Records are also hearing the soundtrack of a Midwestern Mexican childhood, from vintage rancheras to Chicago house.
I remember there was a bar on Racine when I was a little boy, and a lot of people from Texas are in Chicago. So the big Texas sound of like Little Joe and the Family and Flaco Jimenez and things that were like what they call cantina music. I just remember getting my aunt to tell me, go tell your uncles that dinner is ready. And I already knew where to go get them because they were all sitting down at the bar. And I remember going up to a bar stool and like, hey, dice mi tía que está lista la comida.
For Barber and co-owner Jonathan Guzman, those sounds were just part of growing up Chicano in Chicago.
There's a Chicago Midwestern Mexican, which stands alone, and we're one of a kind. We maintain our identity, but when we speak English, we sound like we're from the West Side. You know, when we dress, we got the Sox hat. You know, we're very Chicago, very American, very urban.
Jonathan says his skill in the tonsorial arts also stems from his childhood.
I started cutting hair out of necessity. We didn't have the money to go to a shop every 2 weeks and get a haircut. So my mom had a pair of clippers and had shears, and she cut my dad's hair, she cut my brother's hair, and she would cut my hair, but she would cut my hair in a way I didn't want it. So I learned to cut my own hair. And then my friends in the neighborhood who were also in the same situation decided that I was going to be the guy who would cut their hair.
When the opportunity arose to open a shop in the heart of Little Village in July 2020, Jonathan and his business partner Leo Guzman, no relation, jumped at the chance to create a place where the Midwestern Mexican would feel right at home.
We do things a little differently that I've noticed here than other cities. We're very proud of who we are in Chicago, you know, and I think that's what community is all about, right? Is making other people feel like you're one of them, you know, and I definitely feel that here. You know, I might not look 110% Mexican. They call me Wero for a reason, but it definitely, you know, it feels like home.
All around the shop are the sounds and signifiers of Chicago Chicanos, from the locally made art and merchandise for sale to the vinyl records they sell and play on an in-store turntable. Leo Guzman, who also DJs, manages the music collection.
Our collection basically is made up of Latin American music. We try to focus on las norteñas, mariachi, rancheras, tropical music, from cumbias to salsas. You know, we have music from Tigres del Norte, you know, or Broncos de Reynosa, where, you know, they mention Chicago, you know, they mention certain streets, they mention Little Village. And that's really what I like. You know, I like to, you know, tell a story through music. A lot of music that we try to play here is also new. You know, we try to promote new bands.
You know, everything is done here. Everything is done locally. And from the beginning to the end, except probably for the actual making of the t-shirts, which are probably made in China. I'm sorry. Everything else is done here. And it's providing income for everybody down the line.
Jonathan and Leo say they're hoping Del Pueblo can be a place for Chicagoans, Chicano or not, to celebrate the unique blend of cultures that is Little Village.
I see the little kids who are looking for an identity, who are looking for a space, who are looking for a place to identify. And if you offer them some turntables, they can learn about Chicago house music or freestyle music. They can learn about how Chicago and Little Village and Pilsen influenced the world sound.
It's a safe space where you can come by and socialize and get creative, ultimately. You know, I encourage everybody to come by, share the music with us too, because that's ultimately what this space is for, is to keep that culture flowing, you know, and keep the next generation interested.
For Chicago Tonight Latino Voices, this is Erica Gunderson.
And you can find more on Del Pueblo Barbers and Records on our website.